All right, as promised, here's 2019, the last FRQ, 2019, number 3, the last of the game theory FRQs. I want to walk through this one just to show you how I would do it. I gave you a few other people's way of doing it, but essentially all the same things. But what we have here, a little bit different. First of all, I'm going to zoom in just on the matrix. You can read the questions. I have the questions here, so you can read all that, but this is where everything's going to be working off of, so I want to make sure we can see this. Okay, why is this one a little bit different? Well, you look, we have advertise, do not advertise, and we have enter and stay out, so we have two different actions here, which is something we haven't seen before. Doesn't really matter though. And we also have a negative profit, again, something we haven't seen before, but doesn't really matter. You read through it. Patrick's Pie is currently the only pizzeria in College Town. It can either advertise or not advertise. That's what we have here. Dee's is pizzeria is contemplating whether to stay out of or enter the market. So are they going to open up or are they going to stay out of the market? Each is independently and simultaneously makes its decision. The payoff matrix above shows the profits for each combination, and both players have complete information. The first payoff matrix are Patrick's profit and the second are Dee's profit. So what we want to make sure is that we circle, so Patrick's, I'm going to do Patrick's in red here, and I said I like doing this just to make sure I keep them all straight. So that's Patrick's. The second thing I want to do is I want to solve the matrix. Okay, let's solve the game. Let's figure out who's going to do what when. Let's start with Patrick. If Patrick, should Patrick advertise or not advertise? Well, let's look at his decisions in each case. If we get rid of this and we say if D enters the market, Patrick can earn 50 for advertising or 150 if he does not advertise. He would obviously rather earn 150, so his decision will be right there. On the other hand, if D stays out of the market, Patrick earns 175 if he advertises and 100 if he does not advertise. So that means this is better for him. Now let's look at D's two options. Well, if Patrick advertises, D loses $2. If she does not enter the market and earns, if she does enter the market, she loses $2. If she stays out, she breaks even. She'd rather break even than lose 2. And then on the other hand here, if Patrick does not advertise, D earns 15 for entering and 0 for staying out. So, and now we have here, now we know we have two Nash equilibriums. Nobody has a dominant strategy. I don't know what the questions are yet, but we've solved the game and we can move forward here. A says, what actions maximize the combined profits for Patrick's Pie and Dee's Pizzeria? Never seen this question before, doesn't really matter. It's as simple as it sounds. Combined profits, well, combined profits of 48, 50 and negative 2, combined profits of 175, combined profits of 100, combined profits of 165. All right, so your answer to A is just Patrick should advertise and D should stay out. That maximizes their shared profits. Okay, it's that simple. Never seen it asked before, but you just look at the numbers and you can answer it very simply. B says, conditional on your response in part A, does either Patrick's Pie or Dee's Pizzeria have an incentive to cheat on this combination of actions that maximize their combined profits? Explain using numbers from the matrix for each pizzeria. Well, does anyone have an incentive to cheat? Let's first look at D. Right now, when they maximize their combined, she earns 0 by staying out. Cheating would mean she does the opposite. Cheating would mean she enters and now she loses $2. So for B, D does not have an incentive to cheat because she would go from earning 0 to earning negative 2. Now let's look at Patrick. Does Patrick have an incentive to cheat? Patrick earns 175 right now if he advertises. If he cheats and does the opposite by do not advertising, he goes from earning 175 to 100, so he does not have an incentive to advertise either, right? D does not have an incentive, incentive to cheat. D does not have an incentive to cheat because she would go from 0 to negative 2. Patrick does not have an incentive to cheat because he would go from 175 to 100, so neither has an incentive to cheat. And again, you do have to actually use the numbers because it says there in B, explain using numbers from the matrix for each pizzeria. C, does Patrick have a dominant strategy? Well, there's no explanation needed. And I can look here. No, there's not. Patrick is not better to advertise, right? He'd have to be like here and here circled or here and here circled to have a dominant strategy. Your entire answer is no. The reason it is no, though, is because there's not one outcome that always maximizes profit for Patrick. It's not always better to advertise, or it's not always better to not advertise. D, identify the Nash equilibrium or equilibria for the game. You can see, because we solved the game to start with, two Nash equilibria, the two spots where both of them are boxed in. So the Nash equilibrium, number one, Patrick advertises, D stays out here, or Patrick does not advertise, D enters right here. First time I've ever seen on the AP test two Nash equilibria, but if you solve the game first, it makes it very simple to see the two Nash equilibria there that are the two possible where we would end up if there was no collusion. E is our redrawn matrix, okay? E is our redrawn matrix that we've seen before, where it says do something to this. In the interest of space and then leaving this all up here, I'm not going to redraw it. I'm going to just cheat and draw it on here and just change what needs to be changed. Little different here because it actually involves one losing money and one gaining money, okay? E says ignoring antitrust consideration. That means laws that don't allow for collusion. Suppose Patrick pays D's Pizzeria $20 to stay out. So Patrick's going to give D $20 if she does not enter the market. Okay? So if D enters the market, nothing changes. So we know nothing's going to change here. If D stays out, okay, she gains $20. So this is hers. So these all go from $0 to $20. He pays her $20 to stay out of the market. However, what you also have to consider is that money comes from Patrick. So he loses $20. And we're down to 80 and 20. Okay? So 155 and 20, 80 and 20. Loses 20, gains 20, loses 20, gains 20. Redrawn, a little different way to redraw the matrix, but shouldn't be a problem. Just follow, as long as you understand that that $20 comes from Patrick. Then finally, the Nash equilibria. Nash equilibrium for the redrawn matrix. Okay, we don't have to change anything. How do we find Nash equilibrium? Let's first look at what Patrick would do. Well, if D decides to enter, Patrick's going to go here, 150 greater than 50. If D decides to stay out, 155 greater than 80, Patrick's going to go there. Now let's look at what D would do. If Patrick advertises, D can earn -2 for entering or 20 for staying out. And if Patrick does not advertise, D can earn 20 for staying out or 15 for entering. And now you'll see we do have a single Nash equilibrium because the both circles are in this quadrant, okay? We know that D is always going to stay out because that maximizes her profit. 155 greater than 50, we're going to end up here. So the answer to E, Patrick would advertise, D would stay out, okay? Make sure you get all 4 of these done. Submit the 4 documents. Just scanned or take a picture of the FRQs. Post those to Google Classrooms. Let me know via Google Classrooms or let me know via email or however you want to if you have any questions. Get everything done by Monday night at 11:59, and I'll post what we're going to do Wednesday during the day on Tuesday. Have a good one.